Welcome to Worrier class.
Where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
This is our third episode. Last week, in the second episode, we dealt with are you a warrior versus a worrier, right? Are you a warrior versus a worrier? Okay, which one are you? And I said at the end that we would deal with techniques specific to what warriors do and what warriors do. Okay, and so that's what we're going to deal with. I am Balagun Ojtade, by the way, master instructor of the African Martial Arts Institute and co-chair of the Urban Survival and Preparedness Institute.
And author.
Yes, and author
of the African Warriors Bible and many, many more on Amazon.
Yes, 44 more. I think I got 45 books.
Who's count? And I am Bile, Ogun Bile. I'm an instructor at the African Martial Arts Institute. Good to see you.
And I am Amaniki, and I am an assistant instructor at the African Martial Arts Institute.
All right. So, do we have any news that we want to deal with before we get into the techniques?
No real warrior news today. And when we say news, we know there's news going on every day, y'all, just in case y'all think we just crazy when we skip the news. We're talking about news specifically catered to warriors, warriorhood, or things that we can address in that nature. So I'm going to say, well, we're not going to really cover anything today. What I do want to mention is because we're talking about martial arts and warriorhood, and is the people that you're going to run into out there that's going to be claiming to be warriors and to, have martial arts skills and everything. And I just want to say, I categorize these people in three categories. You got the ones who will come on social media and be like, oh, that don't work or that ain't good without giving you any explanation of why, and they can't tell you what worked better. Those are the people who really don't know much, but they ain't gonna give you too much to let you know they're ignorant. I call them the beta cappers right there. They capping on a real beta level. They ain't going too far with it. Them the beta cappers. They ain't gonna be a problem. You do have to watch out for the alpha cappers. Those are the ones who know a little bit about martial arts. If you don't know anything, it's like a mechanic. You don't know nothing about a car mechanic because, oh man, you got to change the spark plugs every time you do an oil change. And you will believe that, doesn't it?
Wow.
Hey, I got a friend, I ain't gonna put him on blast. I got a friend that he's been misled by, but the same thing. Those are dangerous people, because they are telling you something that you may try and get you hurt. The third one is the most dangerous, and I call them the master capper. The master capper is the one who's not only misleading with information, they got people following them that believe in what they're being taught, and they never had to put it into action. And they think the master capper has put this stuff in action. He has not. And he can get a whole bunch of people in trouble. So I want you to think about that when you're out in the world, about these beta, alpha, and master cappers out here. Don't be one.
And we got a specific type of beta kappa that comes forward whenever a sister's doing a technique.
Yes.
They don't have nothing to say, but when a sister does a technique, they gotta show that they know technique because they think by showing they know technique, they're gonna get some. Get your dumb ass out of here. That's weak, that's thirsty as hell.
And they feel weak because a woman got technique.
Right. So either you had the two, either because a woman doing it, their ego is bruised and they feel, I gotta show that I know how to do it. Or they feel I know how to do it. Yeah, this gonna get me a woman or get me some. That's weak as hell. And first of all, if by doing a martial art technique will get you some, that's probably not some that's worth getting anyway. And if that was the case, I'd be swimming in it. Please. So that's really foolish. And it's either foolish or it is the height of chauvinism, right? I don't use misogynoir and all of that because number one, I'm not attacking brotherhood. I'm a brother myself. That would be whack. But also, to be honest, misogynoir, a lot of times, and that's another thing with us, a lot of times black people, and we had talked about that earlier, will attack ourselves because that's because of hatred of ourselves. Mm-hmm. We will attack ourselves shit more than other folk will. We you know, and so, and that's not a warrior. That's a warrior for real, right? We will attack ourselves out of our hatred. I don't care what your lifestyle is, what you may be. That does not exclude the rest of us. We're all Africans, men, women, and everything in between, right? And so if we're going to love Africans, let's love Africans. But you can't do that unless you love yourself. And if you hate yourself, it's going to show. I don't care what titles you have before or after your name. If you hate your people, that shit's going to show, because you are going to say things, whether you're doing martial arts, whether you're fixing a car, whatever it is you're doing, it's gonna come out. You can't hide your hatred for us, right? And I know a lot of martial artists. I had people who I considered friends tell me, you're a martial artist. Well, I tell you, one who was a friend of mine, close friend of mine, and a famous martial artist. He said, I married a white woman because you married a white woman that, you know, that get you business. I had more students than him at the time. When I was in Chicago, oh man, I had over 100 students. I would only marry a black woman, right? But I had more students. I said, I got more students than you. He said, if you married to a white woman, you'd have even more. That doesn't even make mathematics sense. I got more students than you. You married to a white woman. But you telling me if I marry a white woman, I have even more students. Well, what happened to your white woman?
That's that brainwash. It's crazy.
Insane. And then another brother, I was calling martial artist. He's in Chicago. I call and he ain't watching the show. But if some of his students watching, please let this fool know I said it. I'm calling martial artists in Chicago, black martial artists. And he was well-known kung fu dude, right? I said, brother, it is a pleasure. But I knew he had a Chinese last name, which was weird. But I said, hey, I don't know what happened. I said, it's a pleasure meeting. I'm trying to meet all the brothers in Chicago, the black men and sisters and women who teach. And he said, well, let me correct you. I said, oh, shit, what's going on? He said, let me correct you. There's no such thing as a black man. There's only white men and people of color. I said, so the white man got his own category. But then the rest of us lumped into people of color. I said, you know what, man? You're an idiot. He said, what? I said, you are the epitome of black hatred. He's like, well, you could come to my school and say that. I said, I'll be on my way. I went to his school. I said exactly what I said. And he said, well, brother. Now this whole thing changed. I said, oh, now I'm brother. Wait. Well, you can be a brother. You cannot be a black man.
Yeah. So
I said, you know what? I'm sorry for calling you out your name, sir, because your name is Chinese last name. I said, your name is Master So-and-so, so I should have known better. I'm so sorry. It's because I'm young. I was like 23 or something. I said, it's because I'm young and ignorant. So I respected him as the older person he was. I said, I shouldn't have called you out your name. But I left there knowing that was the.
Sometimes you gotta respect people's sleep. I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have woke you up. I disturbed your sleep. You're right.
I just posted today.
And you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. I was about to say, you know what? I'm about to give his name. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to, because he is. I'm 53, so the man got to be about 70 something, and I don't want to do that. Go ahead and live out, or older. Go ahead and live out your life. Thinking you that, and I can give you one guess what his wife was. She was not black. I'll say that.
Oh.
So he took her last name.
Bingo.
Man, I just posted on Instagram that 86.1% of black people marry each other. That's
right.
It's not what people think, and it's a myth that's been perpetuated to split us up, basically. And these brothers that have been
true.
This brother that I've been following, that's been following me for all this time, a spiritual, cool brother. That's the black woman's fault for the way she behaves, and So we ain't got the black man ain't done nothing. It's just it's her fault.
Black woman's fault.
Like, yo, you showing your scars. You showing your scars by that right there. Anyway, I just had to get that out.
Yeah.
Watch out for the masturbators and the alphas out there. The
The masturbators. So now that's a code. That's a code. The masturbators and the alphas. That was nice. The master kappas, beta kappas, and alpha kappas, right? But I like that. The master. Watch out for the master betas and the alphas. Yeah, watch out for them because if they in my space, it's a problem. All right. So
situation awareness.
Exactly. Mine failed if they got that close. All right. So we're gonna deal with the techniques now. So what we're gonna do is show some techniques and discuss some techniques for warriors and worry. We'll start with the worrier technique. Okay. And we're not saying it's bad technique, but we're saying there's a better way or a simpler way. Which simpler is better when it comes to defending yourself. You can't be trying to remember 1,000 different moves. You'll get paralysis by analysis, right? And end up getting harmed. So we're going to look at these techniques. And what we did was we looked at the techniques that you had to at least have 100,000 likes. I went through social media for days looking up the same technique, which got the most likes. And that's when we said, okay, got 100,000 likes. That's first criteria, right? It is attempting to be realistic and effective because some stuff is just so much garbage.
At least from the outside, it looks like it might.
Right. Because some stuff you just look and say, okay, that's some bull jive. Anybody, untrained person can look and say some bull jive. We eliminated that. So 100,000 likes, and then it's attempting strongly.
So none of the techniques where people are moving stuff with their minds and making people
none
fall
of
by
that.
pointing.
Yeah. Non-touch
techniques.
techniques. That's some BS.
Non-touch episodes
Right.
next another episode.
We'll get to that in a myth class.
Whoa,
Right.
whoa! You just jumped. That's assuming that.
That is a myth. It certainly is. And if it ain't a myth, I would ask one of those masters just go ahead and appear right now and
Come on the show.
you're right.
Move us.
And right. Mute our mics and then they talk. So we're about to get to that right now, and then once after that we'll come back and we got some questions for Cody.
All right.
Okay, a question for Cody. All right. So we're about to go over to the fight cam, and we'll work from there.
All right. Let's pull up this fight cam right here. There we go.
All right, so we're on the fight cam now. We're going to do a slight adjustment with the microphone so it's easy to hear us.
All right. What is that? Oh, this looks good.
All right. So the first one is the outside wrist grab. Now this one, he's going to grab Ominiki's wrist.
So they can see good. We got it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's outside. You said it's outside wrist grab.
Outside wrist grab. So put your hand like this. It's that kind of grab.
Okay. So this.
The other hand.
Outside this way.
So the outside wrist grab.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you what you're going to do. Let me get in first. This is what you're going to do. He's going to grab your wrist. You're going to step back with your foot. The same hand. So my hands grab on. You guys, my right hand. I step back with my right foot. And then I'm going to pull my elbow back and just give it a ki. I'm not going to give it a ki. So he's not going to let me go because I didn't get a ki.
Yeah, don't hurt me. Let her do the ki.
And she's going to ki and pull back. And when she pulls back, she's free. And after you're free, Then you take your steps to get away. So you make distance. Hold up the thing. They can't see me there, but I'll move the mic. I mean the camera so you all can see what happens. So I'm gonna get away. Kia, she's gonna get away, and then I'm going to make distance. Ha! Okay. So.
All right.
I'm doing that.
Yes. So he's going to grab your wrist. You're going to open your fingers first.
Oh.
Now step back with that foot. Oh yeah. And now you pull your wrist, your elbow back, and scream, "Kia! Kia!" Yeah, he's still holding on. Let's try that one again.
One time.
Ready? Open your fingers, step back with that foot, and give it a Kia!
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't happen.
Yes.
All right, so maybe it's just because of strength. Let's see, he's got so much strength. More, I'll grab belay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see what's happening right here. You see what that is,
See the
right?
muscle like
You see
that?
what that is.
And you know, I'm old, out of shape, and I'm just gonna grab him right here, and let's see what happens.
All right.
So he stepped back, I grab him, he opens, he stepped.
Yeah! Okay, that was too much car.
Maybe you did too much, so that's
Too
why you
much.
couldn't pull yourself out.
Okay,
Let's try that again.
Middle car. All right.
He is the
All right. Open fist back. I don't know. I tried
Ain't
to
that
double
something?
key on it. Okay.
And that didn't work. So let's explore it this way, okay? He grabs, grab him tight. I can hold my hand or not, it really doesn't
See
matter.
that? It's tight. You see them veins?
Yeah.
You see what's going on?
Like,
It's tight
woo!
hand. You see that?
And so he got me tight. I got an itch on the side of my head. Let me scratch it real quick. Let me see. I got out of there. Oh, let me see.
Whoa, hold on.
Maybe, yeah, grab me again. Man, I got an itch again, boy. Ooh, boy.
Now I'm gonna key out for this one now. Didn't work.
So I don't know.
She can't do that. She can't do that.
Yeah, she probably can't. Yeah,
do that.
she
She
can't.
can't do that. I'm gonna put the arm on and have to show the bicep for this. She can't do it. She can't do it.
And just rub the side of your head. So now what I want you to do, step towards him and just rub the side of your head.
Time to show the bicep.
Same side.
Again. Time to show the bicep again.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good.
One more time. I'm serious. I just want y'all to see this. You see the difference from this and that? That's me
There you
really
go.
grabbing. Her wrist has to hurt a little bit. All right, let's go. I don't.
Nah.
Try this at home because
So,
you don't believe
To
me.
complete your technique after you're out, he grabs, you go here,
And you see what's
see
happening.
where that's at, boom, and then that comes down, boom, then so I hit and then pull him, bang, right into the strikes, bang, bang, bang. Or he grabs it. If I just want to leave, I go here, threaten him with that to the face. All I need is that flinch, and then I can leave. I'm not doing that because I leave, he's gonna grab me again. But just if you want to just run away, we like to tell people, you run away. But usually in this position, and we're this close, running is not my option. And we'll deal with running in a little bit. I just pap, pump. So it hits him to with the elbow. Remember, we worked on the cover on the Remix Morning Show, right, on Thursdays. I slam that down, I pull, and I hit.
What's that grab behind it?
This here, that is called a collar tie. So I pull down, and my elbow is in his chest.
Yes.
So he don't go nowhere, okay? And that gives me control here. If I want to bend him, I can just bend. I can push away and down. If I wanted to, give him knees.
Control and counter pressure.
I can hit him here.
Wrist is
So-
at an angle.
My wrist is at an angle, and I'm shooting out if I want to bring him down. Usually I pull him just into a punch or into a headbutt. When you headbutt, also if you see on these videos, people headbutting like this cuts easily, and it'll bleed into their eyes. You just jack yourself up. You bleed into your eyes. Believe me, it hurts. You can't see. So you headbutt, if you're going to headbutt here, this side, that's hard, right? Your head is hard, but this skin breaks easily. Even if it breaks here, that's bleeding down the side of your face. You don't get blinded. You slam that into his temple or to his nose. I wouldn't do it because if I hit his head like that, we both get knocked out. So I boom, just crack him right in his nose. You can give it to him a couple of times, right? And that's it. I was about to do something else. I'm not gonna do all it. Bah, 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 right? Boom, you can give him that elbow again, and then you can take off. Okay, but do not try to take off and he's not hurt just because I got out here. You know, that was that.
Chase you
Easily.
Yeah.
Or I go here, and then a lot of new students will do this. I go here and they grab up here. So now you grabbed again. You say, well, what do I do? Another thing that you'll see is this. Person grab here, you go like this. And that works. You're going against the thumb, right? Here, and that assumes
I'm gonna keep my hand like
he gonna keep right. When I do like that, if you do that psychologically, he's letting me go right. He's moving because he knows I've done something, and it scares the hell out of him. But it scares him enough, not the hell out of him. It scares him enough to do something else. I went here, that's threatening. But here, I want not grab this way. I want to move immediately,
right?
As opposed to setting up and then moving.
Right. That's the difference from power.
Right, exactly. And he may do that.
You know what I'm saying?
Boom. Oh, right. So I say, what are you doing? And I may pow. Okay. Big difference. So move immediately on that. That's the outside wrist grab. Now there's also an inside wrist grab.
I just have a question. So moving immediately, that's something that you would naturally do, or you have to train it.
Well, you gotta train. You gotta train all of it, right?
You're definitely gonna move somebody grab you like this. You're
gonna do something. But you know what people do? They'll do this, and this is not your instinct. This is bad self-training.
Right, or pull back like
right.
The last drill just
they're saying, yeah. The only difference
thing.
is just stepping back and right. Or they trying to do that and they just snatch the.
How could that work, though, Bob? Seriously,
it can't.
You step back.
I go back. and number one, even if you don't move right, most people, especially if you know how to train, and that train for the trained, the very well trained, not the fool like they say. Well, you'll get a dude on the street. If you train for the dude on the street,
I might be on the street.
Foolish. Right. I might be on the street. You train for the person. You train for somebody better than me. And then if you meet this regular old street dude, whatever that is, then because we all on the street at some time.
There you go.
But if you meet this old regular, when you saying that, you mean a sucker. You meet an old sucker out there, then that's easy if you could deal with somebody like me or better. Okay. I do not train for me even. I train for somebody better than me. Okay. So now from here, the reason why that will not work is because it's not going against the thumb.
Right, ain't nothing. It's not doing.
It's not going against the thumb. It would be easier just to go do this. That's against the thumb. Yeah. That's another way. The only reason we don't do that is because I'm giving up my back.
Yep.
But if I wanted to, I could go like that, and I'm out. Okay. So that's another way. It's a bunch of ways, and the reason why wrist is grabbed, just so you know. Usually, the reason why they teach wrist grabs is because they don't know much else, so they got to fill up the curriculum. But the reason why we teach wrist grabs is for weapon retention, and that's originally why wrist grabs were taught. I have a knife, and I'm trying to stab you. You're gonna grab, and I don't want to lose my knife, and so I learned to get out of that and work. That's what it's for. It's for you, the attacker, to be able to not to be subdued and to continue to work. It's not for the defender. And in combat, it's better that you be the attacker than the defender. Or even in a self-protection situation, it's better that you be the attacker. You say, what? What? If you're the defender, I'm waiting for you to attack me. And then I defend myself. That's not intelligent. That's not how warriors move. If I'm walking down the street and a dude said, man, I'll whoop your ass. I had a dude tell me one time, I'll whoop your ass. We were talking about that earlier. And I looked at him, and I could have done, but I'm looking at where I'm at. I was in the CBS parking lot, cameras. I just looked at him and said, I'll eat your soul. And he left. Had he not left, I would just done what I needed to do. And if he had said, you ain't gonna eat, he wouldn't have got nothing out of his mouth. because he already told me to beat my ass. He's already threatened me, so I have the right to defend myself now. But I would not have. And when I say right, I'm talking personal, cultural right. I'm not talking about the law right. But if you want to go by just the law, you can do it. I'm not trying to get nobody arrested. You do what is right for you. But if you're walking down the street and somebody tell you to beat your ass, and you say, "Oh, sir, well, do it, sir. Throw your punch, sir." And then he knock you out. You say, "Oh, I didn't get my cover up." Yeah, well, that was your fault because you should have eaten it, and you should have got your cover up. Your cover goes up, boom. You just protected yourself. That's all you're doing. But it just happened to hit him before he could get. I'm gonna beat your ass out his mouth.
Predetermined the punch was coming, so you went ahead.
Right, because there's predetermination, not predestination. Just so you know.
It's a long discussion.
That's a long discussion. And if you want to deal with it, go to my wife's shop. Yes.
Since we're talking about common techniques,
mm-hmm.
that wrist grab, like I learned a long time ago about going for the thumb. But the great thing about that is, like you said, you move immediately because you could grab the thumb and try to, get it to let go of your wrist. But while you're doing that, they're punching you in the face. They're working you.
Right, exactly. You want to use gross motor if you can't, because under stress,
right.
Somebody just grab you anywhere. Your heart's racing. Yeah. And then you're trying to, do little movements where you catch it. That's not happening like that. Okay. Even for the very well trained, for myself, I've used more gross motor techniques to good effect than any fine motor. I have used fine motor techniques before, but that's not high percentage success for you. You're gonna end up having to do something else that's gross motor anyway. Okay. I don't have head grab on here, but we're gonna deal with that. Because we got to deal with that, because that's one of the biggest myths and one of the biggest things that they teach worriers to make them feel better and think they're safe, and you're not safe the way you've been taught against the head grab. This here, inside wrist grab. So the other one's outside. Outside, that's outside my arm. This one's inside. Some people say cross hand. I don't like using that. It's just simple. Outside, inside. Try to even be simple in your terminology, otherwise you're gonna forget this shit anyway. Okay. So from here, the inside one, that I want you to do, this is the worrier, is they grab you, they teach you grab it. This is one of the most popular techniques for this. Grab and you go bring that up, and you go under that. Oh yeah. And they let you go, and now you snatch his arm down, and he falls on his face, and he's destroyed. So, all right, grab, and you grab his wrist, and then you go under like an A-lock, and then you snatch him down, right? And he will fall. Now that one could have some effect. Okay, that could be effective. However, grab my wrist. Now I'm gonna grab your wrist. This is the weakness in it, and you go ahead, do it. Do technique. He went down. I still have his wrist.
That's what I felt too.
This is the weakness. So you can pick the camera up. Just pick up the and then you just follow that around. Follow around that. Right there. The hand's right there. Bring it down a little bit. Yes. So now and follow him as he goes up there. I still have his wrist, and when he gets there, I can snatch him down. I snatch him down. That's the biggest weakness in that. You have to, once again, remove his head. See, this here also, if you grab my wrist, there's a weakness there. Right, it is neutral. That's a weakness. This is one of those in this handshakes. Because if that's it, you grab my wrist, I grab your wrist, either one of us can do the technique. So that's why I knew that if he can go under and do that, then I can do that when he goes under.
They got that from that Beat It video.
Yeah. So now, what you should do when your wrist is grabbed in here, grab tight. Yeah, there you go. Now, me, I got a pretty palm. So I look at it. I want to look at I like looking at my palm.
I already don't feel comfortable.
But it looks so nice. I want him to look at it. I'm out. Okay.
My wrist can't bend the way he's.
I look at my palm.
I'm trying to hold it. You see
He looks at my palm.
You see where that bent?
And even if he tries to hold on, you just go like this.
That
Get out of there.
That don't feel good.
I look at my palm. I say, man, this is pretty. He looks at my palm.
He's got my wrist bent right now. He could put me in a wrist lock.
I can put him in a wrist lock if I want it, but I don't need to be that complex. All I do is push, and then I can start striking or what have you. And once again, that comes from weapon retention. He grabs, I go to stab, he grabs. I twist that out, and now he still gets cut up. He grabs, I twist that out, and he's cut up. Okay.
I don't think I would need to do it like that.
I think she don't even need that. But you just
I was going to use real. I'm like, no.
you use the real knife. Let's see.
All right, again. See that tricep area. That's how you know it's active. See the difference? It's active now. Active.
So look at your hand. Don't even push it to him. Just push it out. So you here? Right. You go hit him in the back. So here and just push across his wrist that way.
You're 80-20 slapping me. All right. Again, it's I like to see this in the mirror.
She's out.
It's not
Okay.
work,
So that's the simplest way. And if you want to do the attack two ways, you can either come out here and then attack, or like you said, I come up here, I put my thumb at his index finger, and I drop him to his knees. If I wanted to do that, right? And if I had a tool in my hand, you say, well, what if you got the tool in your hand? He grabbed and it's like, you do that lock? Sure, because that's up there. And now he's really about to get cut. Cut his wrist, cut his throat, okay?
Let me let y'all know I dropped very fast, not on purpose. My knee is a little sore. I don't even want to hit the hard wood like that. When that, it's no fighting that. You don't fight that. You move.
So keep it real simple and direct. So don't do the warrior way where you're twisting all under here and you're really neutral. Just simply, at this point, we're not neutral. He's the one
I'm in bad shape.
That's in bad shape.
I was going to say, too, about the worrier way. When I pulled, even if you get to the part where you pull them, like he stumbled a little bit, but I would have really, really had to snatch him in order for anything.
And you pulling me,
right?
You know, and that
you really ain't pulling me past you. You pulling me to you,
right?
You pulling the trouble,
right? Because if he turns and grabs you
in an unstable way.
Yeah.
Now,
pistol play. Stand for pistol.
Yes, pistol. So we'll do it. Just shoot him. Because a lot of people say, "Well, just shoot him." Now, let's say most of the time, the warriors say just shoot him. Yeah. Most of the time, a person they have that pistol in their purse or backpack or what have you, so they got to get to that. But let's just say he got that mud on him. He got it on. It's in his pocket.
Yeah, I'm just covering my pocket. Even though most of you never would walk around like this, even though you say you got your thing going, you're out, cop, ready, you know. But
you have it in your pocket, you can have it holstered or whatever. So it's there, his hands are out, you got to get to it.
Right, okay.
I can stop him from getting his hands out of his pocket, but most people are not going to have it in the pocket. And now we're having an argument, and you can bring your hands out if you want to, so you can move. And he wants to get to his tool. When he goes for his tool, let's see, and count the seconds before he shoots me. Let's see if he's trying to pull that out, and I'm trying to not get that pulled out. And I'm not going to take him to the ground. If I take him to the ground, I can stop him from completely getting it out. I'm not going to take him to the ground. He says his knee hurt, right? So when you say go, we're going to go for it, Ominiki. You just tell us to go, and I want y'all to count how many seconds. And you can count out the second one, two. Let's see before he shoots me. You gotta tell us when to go.
5, 4.
You count down?
No, don't count down. We don't want to know like that. That's too. That now we know too much. Not here.
I'll go. Okay, I got you. This is why we need editing. 1.
No, just tell them to go.
Oh, okay.
You tell them to go.
Count the times.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
That's you see. This is I don't want editing so y'all can see. Okay, this is very real what we're doing here.
All right.
Go. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
He got the
four
R, he
1,000,
got more.
5 1,000.
Go ahead, get the. I ain't even using technique.
I
I'm
just grabbed
pulling.
my arm. I can't grab it if
So-
he got my arm.
That wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't gonna come out. So now we'll try again.
I'm gonna put it halfway out so it's sticking out.
No. Put your hand on it.
Okay. Got
Now
my
he got
hand
his
up.
hand on it.
You know what I mean? Got my hand on the handle. I'm ready.
So you said just shoot him, because like you got them things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even using
You
technique.
don't have to.
I'm just trying to survive and not let him get that mug out.
Mhm.
You don't have to get ready.
Yeah, but we're gonna simulate a host.
Just don't shoot yourself with that
We're
mug.
gonna simulate a host right here. So, because this, most of y'all might have a little host on the side, so we're gonna do it.
There you
like
go.
that. There you go. There you conceal, even though you ain't got the license. We know how you doing that. I ain't mad at you. All right, you call it. You know what I'm saying, bro? I need that money.
Oh,
Go.
you show now.
1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
If I shoot, I'm gonna shoot myself. Look where he got.
I'm not even using the technique. I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm not throwing knees.
pull
I'm
the
not doing
trigger.
nothing.
Why would I try to put my hand on the trigger right now? It's too dangerous. You
Them
see what I'm
things,
saying?
huh?
Them things will get you. It ain't the time. In close combat, the thing ain't the answer. The things ain't the answer, bro.
It's because now, if we go back here, you got, let me see, this knife here. Now, y'all not gonna see me. I'm gonna go that far of a distance. He can have that in this waistband.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you be willing to bet that if he pops that before I get there, I'll stop. But if he don't, I'm gonna cut it. No, I'm just joking about that. But I'm gonna use this. I'm going outside where you can't see me. Hey?
That's almost 10. It's almost about 10 yards right there.
You see where I'm at? Now I'm not gonna move forward. And when you say go, he goes to shoot.
Go.
I had it. As you can see, I had it up, but I got stabbed before I get my finger in that trigger and pop.
You want to try it again?
So no, my point is,
21
even
foot
that
rule.
far is hard to get that out. So there's a 21-foot rule that says if a person has a knife out and they're 21 feet away from you, before you can get off a deadly shot, they've cut you already. Okay, and this has been tested. You can look this up. There's been many videos done testing it.
Yeah.
And so my point is, if at 21 feet, you can't get off a deadly shot, what can you do when I'm right here? So stop talking about, I just pulled them things. Anybody that says just anything for a technique to survive, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Just pull them things. Just do this. Just do that. I'll just do this. You won't do shit. Let's be realistic. Because you're capping, like we said earlier, and you'll get capped. You'll get capped. You'll get capped by these. I don't even have to pull a gun. If I have a pistol out, right? This another thing. I've seen people do. Guy got a pistol to the stomach. Other one has a pistol to the head, and this woman, she gets out the technique. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. Number one, she's probably gonna get shot down because the pistols are out now.
Right.
But number two, what I do if me and you got a gun, we each got a pistol. Why? And we're trying to do her harm. Why am I right here and you at her head? We both be out here, and then we do damage because now she has to try to close on us. Now she had a knife out. Even now we got the guns out now, so don't mistake that. We got the pistols out, and she has a knife out. We'll win that engagement. But if our pistols are in here and we're this close, and she got a knife out, she wins that engagement.
But could we show them why you don't want to have? Even say you may catch somebody in your house or something, and you wait until if y'all police calling people, I don't know. But say you got the gun to the assailant, and you're saying you're gonna stand right here to the police. So why don't we want to be standing like this?
Be at their head because they're gonna take control of it.
Exactly.
So he's right here. Don't shoot me in my head.
Even on the captain here, we try to get my finger off the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. That's just my training. So from here, because accidents can happen, I go to move, I slip, right? So it's not gonna happen like that. Believe me, you better get out of it. So from here, I can do stuff that looks real amazing. I'm even so confident because this year I shouldn't even get out of here. I can say, man, please, man, if you really want to do me damage, blow my brains out, sucker. You say, why you put yourself in more danger? Because this, if he does this don't mean nothing. This don't mean nothing. From here, please, sir, please don't. Here.
We've trained this in class.
Please don't. Please don't. Please don't.
Yeah.
And we trained to shooting it off. I just don't feel like doing that today. Yeah. I don't want to hear all that. Right? And that's at his face.
Yes.
Now.
And my finger's on the trigger pointing at me now. That's why you don't want to be.
And if you have a trigger guard, like a pistol, and I do this, it locks your finger. I've almost snapped the student's finger like that because he's going hard. I had another student do this. We're training, and an important person came to watch us train. And I guess he was nervous, and he's pointing the gun at me. And when I knock the gun, not only did I knock it up, he goes like this, boom, and hits himself in the head with the thing. So
you can knock yourself out.
You don't do this like that close. Why would you do that? If I want to shoot him in his head, I'm here. Or further, because I can shoot. Right. I'd be way back.
Closer you are, the more dangerous you are to yourself.
I'll be 20 yards away saying, sir, get down on your knees, or sir, throw your wallet. I ain't trying to rob nobody. And if I'm trying to do him, obviously, because I ain't the police and I ain't trying to rob him, why am I pointing that at his head anyway? Unless if I'm trying to kill him, it ain't going down like that. It's going down like, hey, hey, brother, so-and-so, it's good to see you, brother, so-and-so. All right, man, I'll see you later. Bang! Or while he walks away, bang, from behind him. So most times it's not going down like that. It's no such thing as a gun fight or a knife fight. A fight is an agreement between two combatants. Or not even combat, it could be just two folks saying we're going to do combat. Mm-hmm. I say, man, we're going to get in the shootout, nigga. I got my gun, you got your gun. How ridiculous is that? If he's telling me we're going to get in the shootout, I got my gun, you got yours, pull it out. And I'll be like, yeah, we can do it. Boom, and I shoot him before the shootout starts. Because he's foolish enough to let me pull it out. Thanks. But if I have mine out, and he's talking about, yeah, I'm going to pull mine. I was working security at this place called the Run and Shoot here years ago. These dudes are about to get into it. When they did get into it.
If you don't know the history of Run and Shoot, it's live action all the
yes.
time.
And so this guy says, man, I'm going to get my pistol. I said, no, sir. No, you're not. I'm going to get my pistol. He's going towards his locker. I said, do not move. Now, I was security then, right? I ain't even put security guards, to be honest with you. I was working it then. I was with this company that's supposed to be doing executive protection. But before they had any executive protection gigs, they had me doing the Run and Shoot. It was BS when I first moved here. So the company wasn't BS. It was just BS that he didn't have no work. And so he wanted to give me work. So he gave me that. I said, damn. Okay. And I had to, sir, you're not going to that locker. He said, what you going to do? I said, I'm going to end you. You're not going to the locker on me and getting a pistol. You're not doing that. You ain't killing nobody else. So do not, and I say that to say, do not ever use that as a thing to just brandish and try to scare folk. Because you thinking it's going to be a gunfight. And it's not. You're going to lose that engagement. You're going to lose it. Okay? I had a dude, one of my students, walking down the street, he had a stick. And a dude puts his hand in his pocket to take his wallet. It was the dumbest thing ever. He boom and broke his stick on the dude's head. Dude on the ground. He kept it stepping. Like, okay, what was he supposed to do? Sir, no, and start locking the dude up. And, no, I don't know what the dude expecting him to do. Or grab it at his pocket too. No, okay. Your hand is occupied. It's in my pocket. All right. So we don't think of fighting. We think of protecting. I'm not going to have an agreement with him to get down. If he said, I want to get down with you, well, I really don't want to fight. And if he turns his back to walk away, well, he gets torn up. There's no agreement of us fighting. We're not children. And so it's either we shouldn't be fighting or we throwing down. There's no fight or you throw down. I ain't said kill nobody, nothing like that. I said throw down. And throw down is what that person means. So if he aggresses me, he can't determine how far I throw down. He shouldn't have messed with me. I may have had a bad day, and I'm like, the first person messing with me, I'm breaking their arms. And he happened to mess with me. Well, all right. So that's just shoot him. Next, just kick him in the nuts. I was in a fight, and a dude kneed me in the nuts. I kept fighting. I won that engagement, if you want to say won. I defeated him. And I didn't have a deficit after, like, oh, my nuts hurt. Nope. But then I've also seen people just get smacked in the nuts and collapse.
I will tell you this. I've been lightly grazed in the nuts and put down. I've been hit in the nuts in a fight, and it didn't stop. Afterwards, I was hurt, but I didn't stop in the moment. And I don't think people realize that that's not going to stop your adrenaline pumping and rushing, and you want to do something to somebody, like you protecting yourself. That's not.
So somebody trying to hurt you, don't go into I'll just kick them in the nuts.
And if you
and you know, the just folks, most well-trained martial artists are not saying just. Even poorly trained martial artists not saying just because they feel like I got these techniques, right? That's your friend, your cousin, your daddy, your mama, and this. Oh, just kick them in the nuts.
Ask them when's the last time they tried it.
Right. Last time you tried them, somebody really trying to attack you. What happened?
Right.
Well, your Uncle Rollo kicked the guy in the nut and he dropped. You say, okay, that was lucky. That was lucky for Uncle Rollo.
Uncle Rollo, they both crackheads. They fall.
Right. They're gonna fall anyway. So don't rely on a strike to the nuts can work, but don't rely on it. So here is our solution for that. Okay. On the one about the just shoot them, there's no solution. Don't think just shoot them. Or if you do shoot, you shoot from a distance. And I don't know why you're doing that, so I'm not even going no further. All right. So now, instead of just kick them in the nuts, hold that up and bring that down. Bring it down here like that. Good. Because people think, you know, as much as black men we want it to be, the nuts and the groin is a small target.
Well,
we don't want to believe that, but it is. Your thigh is much bigger, and if you're standing right, I can't get to his groin. So,
right.
Hold your foot straight right there, like it was. Groin is open. Now turn your toe in. Groin is not open, but what is open is that thigh, and that thigh is bigger than your groin. Trust that.
Much more accessible.
And much more accessible. So I hit that thigh though. That put your lights out.
Folks don't know that, bro.
Okay, I know they don't. That will put the lights out. I was dealing with a student, John Bier. He's 15 years old, and I'm working knife techniques with him. And he stepped off and did a kick, which is not as strong as a knee, by the way, a side kick into my thigh. I woke up looking up at him, and he's yay cheering that he knocked me out with just a kick to the thigh. And I was much younger. That's when I first moved here, right? I've been in Atlanta 21 years. That will knock you out. You hold that person, boom, boom, and you're punching with your knee. Remember I said don't lift them like a YMCA karate knee. You punch forward. Boom. Boom. You're kidding. This is clap behind their neck if you can, or you can hold right here. Boom. Boom. Or you can be standing like, sir, I don't want no problems. Boom. Hit him. Okay. Boom. Knee him.
Keep your hands in front when you do that knee. Don't do that tabo.
Right. Keep your hands in front. Don't go higher. He'll knock you out. Keep your hands up. Boom. Okay. So not just kick him in the groin. Knee him to the thigh. Knee him to the thigh.
Get a target.
And lastly is just run. Some people say, oh, don't even worry about fight. Just run. That sounds nice. Just run.
Let me ask y'all a question before we even say anything about this. Just run, right? How many of y'all out there have ran full speed in the last 10 years?
Right. That's number one. But you know, the sister who just got slammed for the marijuana, what's her name?
Oh, right. We know.
Shikari?
Yeah.
Shakari, however you say it, the sister, even if you say just run, oh, she run fast as hell. Just run. That's one of the few that may work for
her.
Right. But why do we tell people don't run? Because you figure you don't have the physical capabilities to fight. You're not strong enough. You're not fast enough. You don't have the endurance, whatever it is, the technique. Well, if you don't have the speed, the endurance, and the strength to fight a person off of you, well, goddamn, you definitely don't have the speed, endurance, and strength to run. That takes more. And then if you do run and you ain't warmed up, I used to be a sprinter, one of the top sprinters in this country. And I've had shin splints if I didn't warm up. You can tear a hamstring. You can roll your ankle. If you roll your ankle or you tear a hamstring while you're trying to run from somebody who's trying to bust your head to the white meat,
now you're going to get your head busted.
It's going to get busted to the white meat because now you don't even have the energy or the ability because you're hurting now.
And now your pain is going to take away from your ability to defend yourself even more. So.
Right. You're concentrating on pain. And if he's moving around you, you can't, oh, ow, I rolled my ankle. And if you hit the ground or you just can't move enough, now he is going to bust your head to the white meat for sure. Whereas if he wanted to bust your head to the white meat and you defended yourself, at least you protected yourself, then at least you have a chance of surviving that encounter. But if you run and you're too winded, because gassing is it's the biggest thing that MMA fighters are afraid of. You ask the MMA fighter, what do they fear most?
Yeah.
It's not injuries, it's gassing.
Because it makes you prone to everything. Once you gas, you'll get killed.
Now you can get injured. You can get choked out. You can get knocked out. So do not. And in the street, it's out here is more crucial that you don't get gassed because now knives are coming into play, pistols, multiple attackers.
I went to a Clemson homecoming, and it was I've been drinking, so I was a little disoriented. You know, I'm okay, yeah. So I'm disoriented. So I was about to tell you everything. I ain't gonna tell you. I'm disoriented at this, and I'm with a football player. He's introducing me to somebody, but I don't catch on because I'm drunk. We young, you know what I'm saying? So the guy coming to me, big dude, he was actually 6'5", 325 pounds. And he put his hands up to me, and I thought he was trying to be aggressive. So I slapped his hands away, and the dude looked at it. My homeboy looked at me. It's like, yo, what's up with your boy? We about to get into it? So I'm thinking to myself, this is a big dude. I should run. But then I'm like, man, I'm too inebriated to run, so I'm just gonna act like I ain't drunk and just be like, what you want to do? So I override the run. I'm like, nah, bro, what's up? So he's like, nah, man, it wasn't nothing. I'm saying that to say later on, I find out that this guy is Emery Smith. He's Emmitt Smith's little brother. He's a fullback. He runs a 4.6. I couldn't have.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? What if I'd have tried to punch him in the mouth and then haul ass? That's not a good plan. You never know how big he was moving just like this. Because that's how all big football players move until they get to the court. You underestimate somebody.
Right.
I mean, to the field. So, yeah, running is not good. I have to be honest.
Right. So, no just is good. So, remember, if they're telling you just, that's because they don't really know nothing else.
Oversimplifying.
Right. That's oversimplifying. We want our shit simple, but not oversimplified where it is ridiculous and it can get you hurt. Right. So don't listen to the just folks. And just folks, stop that shit. Stop it. Stop it. Train so you don't have to talk about just kick them in the nuts, just shoot them. We know that is rooted in ignorance and fear, or ignorance or fear. Usually it's both. Okay. All right. So now we're going to go back to the seats and deal with a question for Cody. So yeah, Cody, there's a question for you today. So we're going to go and deal with that. All right. We're going to go leaving the bike cam, going back over to the class. Boom.
Boy, you look at Baba, boy.
And now you hit the one again. Hit the one up there. See, the one dude? Yeah.
Oh, that brought that back. Okay, so one again. Well, how about that? One, and
now hit that, touch that one. Touch me.
Oh, baby.
What in the world? Okay, go back to go to that one. Yes. Go to that one. Excuse us, y'all. I don't hit none of that.
Solo layout.
Yeah, solo, there you go.
Boom. Okay. We getting it. We getting it. This is the third episode. We're
right.
gonna do software. Okay.
All right. So we learning all this stuff.
We might edit this out.
We're not gonna edit it out because then I gotta figure out how to do that. So now
we're gonna go live one day.
Yes. Ask Cody. All right. So this week, Cody, this question comes from Ashley Knuckles Johnson. Ashley Knuckles asked, Cody, at the A-Town Throwdown in 2019, you said, practice your kata and you will be able to defend yourself against any attack. What did you mean by that, Cody?
Well, thank you, Ashley. I appreciate you asking me that question. It's a good question. So, what most unskilled people don't know is there's hundreds, even thousands of techniques buried inside of a kata. I'm telling you, but the thing about it is that the Asian folks, see, they real good at understanding this, and the white man, the white people, they really good at understanding. But for some reason, the black folks, they just don't seem to be able to get all the goodness that comes out of that kata, man. All the techniques all the combat skills that you learn from that kata. So that's what I meant by it. That's what I meant. It's the quickest way to combat. I tell you, I do kata every day. Look at it.
All right, Cody. All right, thank you. Now, this dude. So, Cody says there are 100 to 1,000 self-defense techniques hidden inside of kata, any kata. All right, yeah, like that. Yes, that hoi, right, and that's hiding techniques. If I hide. You're taking math, and I hide the math formulas from you, and then you have to take the test. So the same thing is, okay, if it's hidden in there, how am I going to find it?
It's hidden in a song. I just sing the song.
Right, just sing the song. Okay, maybe Black Boy, we can't get it, because I ain't that much of a genius where I just look at you doing this, and I say, okay, that is head and arm throw, and then a headbutt. I mean, come on.
So
right.
I've never done a kata, but I have questions. Mm-hmm. How does it? I could see it helping you being in physical, shape and strength. But how can it really help you know, like, say they're doing this because that's where the chest gonna be, and then they're hitting in the neck right there after that. So that's what that's supposed to be doing. But how do you know where my neck gonna be?
Right. You don't know where the neck's gonna be, because that's different heights,
different shape. My neck gonna move the same way.
If you say, okay, well, this is a headbutt, because a friend told me that this is a headbutt from his art, right? That's part of their thing. Like that, right? Okay. Well, number one, headbutt, I already talked about that. You bleed down. But how do I know that? How do I know, and this is spreading his arms, and then that's that. How do I know that that's what that is? Because he could be choking me. And if he's choking me and I do like that, that's not going to knock that off. I've seen people do it. You go like this, and you go like that, and knock it off. And that is not going to take, if you're trained. I had a person come into class to try to do that. Whoa, like that, and I choked the living bejesus, excuse my language, out of him. Okay? Because I know how to choke. And he thought the choke just like this. And the choke, actually, if you're choking, it's like that. If you're choking with two hands.
Same motion he did a minute ago.
Right, if you're choking with two hands. So now we can say this, the same thing I did against his neck. I do a choke. It's not hidden. If I train with a person, I figure that out. That's how you do that. I figured out what all these movements mean by working with a human being. Because this could be to your jaw and your neck, or this could be to your ribs and your solar plexus. It all depends on the height of the person that I have to protect myself against.
And how they move when you
right, how they move shit. What mood you're in, what mood they're in, your health.
We just saw that yesterday in class when my elbow wouldn't do the same as Akambola elbow. When you want to show somebody on him, his elbow didn't do the same.
Right. Everybody's different, and you only learn that there are differences by working with people, and you mainly deal with the energy. I saw it in the chat from last week. Somebody said, you have to be strong to do these techniques. No. She was able to do the techniques against him. She has strength, but she's not as strong as he is. So you have to have enough physical strength to move yourself, but you don't have to be strong like that. If I brought years ago, I use this. My son was 5. My son's 10. He weighs 140 pounds and he's 6 feet tall. He's bigger than I was when I was his age. At his age, I was 115 pounds at 6'1". Right?
That's strong.
I was strong. And I was working technique. So when he was 5, I don't know, 60 pounds, whatever it is. I don't think 5-year-old, he was 60 pounds. He's on the ground and a 300-pound woman mounted him. I said, you can handle that? She said, oh, bye-bye. I don't want to hurt him. I said, no, you got this. And he's laying there with confidence. Laying there, knees bent, head, chin tucked like it should be, hands here so she can't choke him. And she mounted him 300 pounds. And she said, what do I do now? I said, go ahead and, punch him. Mountain means she straddled on him. She's sitting on him with her weight. 300 pounds. I said, punch him. She goes to punch him. He lifts his hips up and she falls forward. He grabs her arm. He throws the hips up again, so she's riding his hips, his little teeny hips. And he bridges over and she rolls over and she's on her back, amazed. And everybody in there is like, amazed, except for those of us who train and understand the physics of it. It's about the physics.
We have a hashtag on that we got from Bible that you'll see on this class is skill trumps strength.
All day long, skill trumps strength. The only limits of that if the person is so much stronger, like
there's also exceptions to every rule.
Like a weightlifter against my grandbaby or something.
Or me on mine.
Yeah, with his muscles like that. Yeah. She's just, terrifying. If he gets somebody grabs somebody, right? So there are exceptions, but they have to be great exceptions for the physics not to work. The physics be physicking, boy.
Yeah, like you said, like a child to like a child to an adult. That's when skill made it.
Right. The physics be physicking. So make sure you stick with the physics of the technique. But if your physics are off, it don't matter how good your technique, how good you are, because how good your technique is. The technique's only as good as the physics. And the physics only as good as you. How well do you train?
And
right?
you can have the best technique, and if you don't train it,
right, then your physics is gonna be off. Right? People say, well, I don't get rusty. Everybody gets rusty. You better train.
There's no such
train.
Who says that? No. People say, well,
I've heard martial artists,
you just don't get a basketball out there and just
when the last time you trained? Oh, I've trained for 25 years. But I got this. No, you don't. We know one of our sisters did a kung fu art, and when the test came and pressures put on, all she was doing was scratching. Remember that? Scratch. Now she's trained by me too, but the stress was on her, and her mind. Do I go to kung fu? Do I go to EO? You best choose EO, because right now you're getting hammered. She's just scratching. Everybody complaining, "You're scratching me," and I said that's because it's that confusion of what do I do. He said, "Well, I do another art. Should I do this then?" Yes, and then train it, so now it comes out of you. Now that sister trained, but not to the consistency that she should have been, and that's why that was happening.
Neither one came out.
Right, neither one came, just scratching. Because you didn't train either enough, and I love her, and she know that, but it's the truth of it.
And if you ran up
No,
on
that wasn't that. No, she said Chicago that came out. I'm from Chicago too, so no, ma'am. So you know that. Well, that scratching may have been in Chicago. Right? I don't know, but I've never had to do that. Thank God. So you train it out. You train, and you say, well, how much should I train? Twice a week is minimum. That's minimum. And if you can get more in, don't burn yourself out either. I say 2 to 4 days a week is optimal. Well, 4 days a week, I say it's 3 to 4 is optimal. Okay, when you get in that 5, you're burned out. I've been there 6 days a week. When I first opened the school here, not when I first started teaching, but when I had just my own private school here, right, on McDaniel Street, we were open 6 days a week, and I was burnt. And I was training from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day. I was burnt.
That's
and I was
that's when you go professional.
And there were other full instructors, but of course they needed me to be the only full instructor helping me was my wife at that time. Nobody else was no full. I can mobilize, who's a master instructor, was a beginner man.
Wow.
And so I said, I gotta make instructors there, because oh my God, I need help. You know, and our way is, if you have a big brother, it's family oriented. Your big brother is to teach their little brother. Okay. And so the job is to make the big brother as proficient as they can be so they can teach the little brother as well as they can. And so we start with assistant instructor, and then a full instructor, and then a master instructor, and then a master. Okay. That's the way we do it. They say, well, okay, you're a master, and then where do you go beyond that? Well, it took me 20 years to call myself a master, and that's because I was instructed to. It never, longer than 20 years. It took me 30 years of teaching, actually, so it was longer than that. I was a master instructor. People say, well, why don't you say master? No. And then, believe it or not, my father came to me in a dream. My father's transition 2013. He came to me, I think, in 2019. And said, call yourself master. And that was the confirmation. Oga is master, the title. And I told the students, I didn't get no, pushback, because, they had felt I was that, I guess. But I didn't feel I was worthy of that title. All right. And then when I became master instructor, everybody they knew. I mean, he had long earned that, really. So we're really big brother, big sister, down to little brother, little sister. All right, that's the way it's done. So you don't have to be say, well, I gotta become a master first before I can defend myself. No, that's some BS.
After the first day, you can defend yourself.
Yeah, you can.
First day of class, I felt like I could have took what I got on the first day and went out there and whooped ass. That's how I felt. And
you might have got knocked out a little
bit. I got knocked out by
somebody. But you can. You're much better protector of yourself than you were.
I've heard
after your first day.
First day, you really feel it.
Okay, and then we just push that more and more and more. And then once we get to, he's about to become a full instructor right now. That my job is to mess with him to deal with any psychological deficits that are stopping him from being able to defend himself. But the physical parts are there already. Okay, and the only thing that would stop anything is the psychological deficits. I have a student that she knows a lot of techniques, but the psychological deficit is I don't know if I can use it on nobody. Right? If they can't use it on nobody, so my job, I know with them, is to work the mindset more, because the technique's going to be there. But let's get that mindset right. Okay. And that's the whole thing. That's the main thing. Get your mindset prepared to defend yourself, because you can have all the techniques in the world, but if your mind is not willing to use them, then you won't. I know people who had a pistol in a holster and they're getting beat up and haven't pulled the pistol.
Seen people die with the pistol on them, with the knife on them, right on them.
Because they're not willing. When you see techniques, drive the thumb through their eye. And I'm going to end on this. You drive the thumb through their eye, push their head back. Who out here is driven their fingers through somebody's eye or their thumb? I would be willing to bet nobody, unless you were either in the military, in war, or you were a psychopath.
The people that die with that gun and the knife on their hip, I know people that wasn't scared to use it. But they
didn't use it.
They didn't know how to get it out.
Right.
They
not in the middle of stress.
Exactly. I seen people scared it happened to them. I seen people wasn't scared. They just couldn't get to it. Because you ain't training. You didn't have you had a knife on your whole life. You never pulled it out.
My mother, we're walking to church when I was a little boy. I was 8 years old. And I bumped the head of my mother. My mother's in the back. Me and my sisters were up ahead. We're walking to the church. You know, we're just talking. I'm always talking to her. And my mother's just quiet. And then she said, "Oh my God." And we turned, "What, Ma?" And the dude's running off. She said, "The dude put a gun in my back and said, don't say nothing." He took her purse. "Oh, I'll shoot your son." He takes off.
Chicago, everybody.
Yes, it's Chicago, yeah. So my mother, he took off with the purse, which had a pistol in it. Okay? She said she saw him walking up. And she said, "How you doing, sir?" She's speaking all friend, but he walking all close up on her. She had a pistol right there. She didn't think to pull it. She didn't say, "Hi, sir."
Sometimes being nice.
Right.
Being nice. Get you killed.
And that's because we don't understand that what niceness is. Niceness is a strategy of social interaction. It's not a character trait.
You see it on my Instagram. I got it from him, y'all.
So you don't have to be nice, because that's a strategy of social interaction. It should be done when it is beneficial to you. Right. Not just because some clown is walking up on you. Because why is he walking up on you?
Friendly.
Right.
You don't want to say anything.
But that comes to women from being nice to men.
Yes, it does. Yes. And not listening to your intuition.
Yeah, he too close to me.
Right. He's close. What's going on? It's nighttime.
Like he violated me.
It's night. We're going there for some like singing, quiet thing. I ain't been in church since I was 12, so I can't. It was some quiet, be quiet singing or something like that. We're walking at night, and this dude on the street in a hard ass neighborhood. I grew up on the west side of Chicago. And it's hard where I grew up, South Lawndale. And we're walking. And this dude is walking up on you like this, and you don't think to pull your pistol? And my mother was known for tearing mugs up. But not in that situation. It's we squared up, and she can get down, right? My father's wife, right? My father hears about it and finds out who did it. You know, it was the neighbor who lived under us. But she didn't even realize it because of her fear. He had shades on at night. That's another thing. Tell me, why you got shades on at nighttime?
Situational awareness.
And my father's listening to the description. He's asking people around the neighborhood. And he finds out it's the dude that lived right in our basement. He no longer lived in our basement when my father took the trip down there. But he was living in the basement with his mama. Yes. His mom was a friend of my mama. This was a low down dude. He ended up moving to Minnesota or something after that. It was as far as my daddy told me. We ain't seen him since.
That sounds like a place.
Yeah, he said he was in Minnesota.
Oh,
that's all I'll say.
It's heaven.
But and I only tell that part because my father's transition. We're gonna arrest him or something now. All I can do is speculate.
Minnesota was cold word. How many people said in Minnesota? Like, damn. Right. So, and then you ain't never been there. How you know you've been to Minnesota? So, he probably have been to Minnesota. So, from here out,
train the techniques that you get. Look back at this video, at this class, and look over the techniques. Work them. Work them with the person. It could be your spouse. It could be your sibling. It could be your friend.
Challenge what you see in us.
And challenge what you see and see. Are we worriers?
Are we faking it? Are we capping?
Right.
Capping?
Capping?
Tell us.
And come back and tell us if we capping.
Comment. We want to see what you think about these techniques.
And make sure any technique you want to see dealt with or any concern, put it in there. Any situation, put it in there, because that is part of what we want to do. We want you to add yours. So you put it in there this week, we'll deal with it next week or the week after. If we got a bunch of them, right? We're going to get to all of them if we haven't gotten to your concern already. So put that in there. I thank you for coming. I thank my hosts for being great hosts and helping us have a great show. People have been watching this saying it's dope, and it's going to get doper.
It's going to get much better. We are all three very busy people, so we're just getting this thing worked out. Once we get the routine set up, we're going to really have something for y'all.
And the technical parts is the only thing that's lacking. We're going to get that down, how to move this, that, and all that. And we're going to give you something. I think we're already giving you something you ain't seen before. We're going to give you something you ain't even expecting. So until next time, peace and love. Be safe. Stay black.
Yeah.
I didn't know Jesus language.
But Jesus is...